can I have someone to move adoption of the agenda? Brianna and Leslie, mover, seconder. I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, it looks like it's good. Nobody's opposed. Adopt the minutes, mover and seconder. I'll just take two hands. Okay, Joey and Elaine, just for variety, mover and seconder. I'll call the question. Any discussion on the minutes? No? Okay, is there any conflict of interest? Is anybody making money off this committee?
I wish.
You wish. Okay, I guess we're not making any money so that we can go on to the next one. Rat card distribution. I'll get an update from Joanne. Joanne, how are we doing with the rat cards?
So the water bills have 3 cycles. I've done the first and second cycle, one in November, one in December, and the next one is going out next week. And then after that, we will be done.
And that'll be most of Thorold except for areas that don't have water, right?
That's right. Yep.
And we did that thanks to Joanne for the cost of the rat cards and what we had before. So we did that all for about $225.
Wow.
So big thanks and kudos to Joanne and her staff. And this is what happens when we get really good cooperation from staff. So Joanne, a million thanks. And you thank your staff for us. Any questions on rat cards? And if we can figure out down the road a way to do to places that don't have water, we can leave that if anybody's got some brilliant suggestions. I don't think it's a lot of area, but if we can figure it out, we'll leave it on the back burner. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. I want to tell you that we gave $100 to the Christmas luncheon, which I have to tell you went very well. It was catered by Dan was there, and it was catered by Donley's, and we had a full turkey supper, and the $100 that we donated went to pay a $50 honorarium. We had Tony Vendetti there, and he was a comedian. And I have to tell you, the few laughs we got were very welcomed at the time. It's ironic that everybody's looking to laughing because at my federal employees Christmas luncheon, they had a comedian also. So everybody's looking for that. So the honorarium we paid him was far less than what he would charge. He didn't want anything, but we felt we had to give him something. And then we bought, I think we bought 6 poinsettias from the activities group, and they had them in the center for a week or two. And then we gave them out as door prizes, and those were all really appreciated. So I think the $100 with the whole luncheon, kudos to the senior center who did a great job with the luncheon. They had some games that they also had, and it was a really, and they had the induction of the new seniors executive. It was a really nice couple of hours, I have to tell you. And it just seems so long ago though. Elaine, kudos to everything you guys did and everything you've done.
I will pass it along. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very good. And we distributed the shoe bags too. And
Yep.
I have a few left over. So hopefully, I forgot to bring some at Christmas, but I have a few left over. So if anybody wants some or one or a couple, let me know. I probably about 20, maybe 30 at maximum for us. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay. Okay. Okay, the calendar. Calendar is going very well. I'll be working on it some more in the next little while to finalize it. You saw it. It's about 80% done. And I got some of your comments which have to be done. Now I had to make it a 13-month calendar. This whole thing has been a real learning process, which means it's I have to include, because of the way the calendar is, I have to have December 2022. So number one, I'm looking for a sponsor for December 2022. It'll be the first month that they'll see. So if anybody has any ideas, I'd appreciate it. Secondly, I have to have, Joanne, this is for you. We have 11 sponsors who have contributed $400. So that's 40, what is that? Is it $4,400? I need finance to, that's not the city's money. I need that moved to the 2022 year so we can have access to that money.
Yep. So I have some good news. There's actually 12 sponsors. So you actually have 4,800.
Yeah, well, the 12, who's the 12 sponsors?
Oh, 1 second. I got to pull it up.
The 12 sponsors include us, age friendly. There's 12.
Okay. So there's 13 or sorry, there's 12. Yeah. So there's $4,800 in the account.
Okay.
Let me just
Maybe
pull
you-
up the email.
Maybe you can just check for me later and see who all the sponsors,
Sure.
if that 12 includes us.
It might. Okay, so we do need to have a motion to have it carried over to 2022.
Okay.
So we can do that. I think I have it here.
Move.
Okay. So I've got Marilyn who will move it. So carrying that money to, because we're going to need it in April. This is-
Yep, that's right.
This is going to be printed in April.
Yeah.
And I'll confirm with you if one of the 12s is age friendly.
Yeah, I'll take a look and then I'll send you an email.
Okay. If we have 12 without age friendly and I don't, then we don't need another one, but I think the 12 includes age friendly.
Okay, I'm gonna put a note there.
That's perfect. So a motion that $4,800 allocated to be transferred to the 2022 budget for the calendar. Maybe you can make that nicer sounding.
Yeah.
I think it's clear what we're doing, right? We're just transferring the
Yeah,
money
yeah, that's all you're doing.
so that we have it and there's no questions. So I have Marilyn who moved it. I need a seconder. Elaine will second it. Does anybody want to discuss anything on that one? Okay, that's wonderful. I'll call the question. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, that's carried. Okay, so I'll work with Joanne to figure out if that includes our 400. I have a feeling that it does. And when we start to think about budgets, I probably would like just to have a little bit of leeway, include another $400, and I'll let you guys discuss this further in the budget section. $400 from our monies for this year, just as a contingency in case we have overruns or I'm more worried that I think we're going to need some monies for to set this up professionally. So we have a really professional looking calendar. So there might be some cost just for the setup. And I just want to have that little bit of extra leeway in case we need it. But we'll talk about that in the budget. So I have nothing more right now on the calendar. Unless you want to, unless somebody wants to add anything. Okay. Okay, I guess not. So we'll go to chat benches. Okay, as you saw, we've been waiting for the Welland prototype to come out. And I sent you a picture a little while ago of the chat bench that Welland has put up. Basically, it's got a banner on the side. And if we did ours, it would say chat bench the same. The middle would be the same. But on either side would be the City of Thorold logo and would be the age-friendly, or Thorold age-friendly logo. So those logos would be on either side. I brought this up at the Parks meeting yesterday, and Curtis graciously reached out to his counterpart in Welland to figure out what the status of the bench was. And at the time, it wasn't, he didn't have a prototype, but we have a prototype. And now he's agreed to contacting them again and find out where we go. And I've also contacted Doug Raboje to find out who did the background. It's the same people who did our flags. So I'm hoping we don't have to buy a bench. I'm hoping all we have to do is buy the banner, and hopefully what I would like to do is to have the banner put on 1 or 2 benches of the new Battle of Beaver Dams Park. And Curtis didn't commit to that, but he's definitely committed to at least looking into it and working with us. And so what I would like to do is I would like a motion that we, now that we have a prototype, that we work towards having 1 or 2 benches with the chat bench banner in the Battle of Beaver Dams Parks project, and that we assess what the cost of that banner would be and fixing it to the bench. So can I have a motion to get us to support this into looking into it? We're not committing to it, but we're looking into.
Can I ask a question? We are just going to put banners on new existing city
Benches.
property. We're not building the chairs, are we?
No, what I'm proposing to work with Curtis on is that there's going to be benches in the Battle of Beaver Dams Park as part of the project, and that we work with them at least as a start. Maybe we can do it on other benches. Maybe we can do it in one bench downtown or whatever. But as a start, because this is an ongoing project and it's going to be done in the spring, figuring out what the cost of the banner and affixing it to the benches, not to pay for a bench, that we would pay for maybe the banner, and finding out what the cost of the banner is and affixing it to the bench.
Okay.
So the motion would be to, and work with Parks and Rec, work with Curtis Drake to determine the feasibility of putting a chat banner, of investigating the cost of putting a chat banner on 1 or 2 of the benches in the Battle of Beaver Dams project.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Mhm.
Is there any questions? Joe, I'm sorry, Leslie.
So at the end of the bylaw that was circulated with our minutes, there are costs. We're asking, since we're a committee of Thorold Council, that we don't have to pay those costs, but the plaque costs are at the end. Of course, they look like they're only for trees. No, I don't think that they have broken down the plaque for the bench, only for the trees.
Yeah.
We asked them for that breakdown.
That's what we're basically asking them for, a cost
Okay.
we're trying to figure out a cost of the banner and a cost of what it would be to put on the bench. We're not looking for a cost of buying the bench. So none of those really quite fit with our request.
So the fees for putting a banner on a tree, which will probably be the same because of the way that they're managing the benches, are already included in the installation administration. So it might not cost us all that much.
Yeah. He says in there, if you see it, it says Jet, and probably because he didn't have a cost, right? This is something new. It says chat bench banner, 4 benches, invoiced at cost.
So
Right.
who are you expecting to pay for the bench itself?
I'm hoping that the bench is going to be, they're going to be putting the benches in the Battle of Beaver Dams Park, right?
Yes, but I think, I don't know, Curtis isn't here to correct me, but I think those benches are already spoken for.
They have.
Like, I think there's already other groups that have paid for those benches to put like a plaque or whatever the case may be on that bench.
Okay. What? Yeah.
I asked a long time ago whether we would be kept involved because Horticulture Society wanted to purchase a bench. And we were told we had to wait till the bylaw was done before any of the benches would be considered for a group or an organization. So I don't know whether that's they've done that. I think this, what they've decided is the city wants specific benches. They're going to put them in there and then ask who wants to put plaques on.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed if they're
So
all,
confusing.
yeah, if they're all gone already, I would be very disappointed because they've known about our chat bench stuff for ages. So
Yeah,
if
I'm
they're
not
all-
100% sure on that. So I'm not 100% sure.
So the motion will be to work with Parks and Rec and Curtis Dray to determine the feasibility and the cost of a chat bench banner for the proposed benches for one or more of the proposed benches in the Battle of Beaver Dams Park. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it says that this committee wants to investigate the matter with Parks and Rec and Curtis. And Curtis was very, Dan, you can correct me, but he was willing to work with us yesterday at the meeting. Fred? Fred, do you have anything?
Yes, just maybe we might invite him to our next meeting just to clarify this, just to make sure that it's put in the minutes on what is going to be transpiring. Because there's a lot of benches in the Battle of Beaver Dams Park, so I can't see them all being already spoken for. So
I
I
could
think
definitely be wrong on that. So I'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
take a look with Curtis. He was actually supposed to be at the meeting today, but he had another meeting at the same time. So he was not able to attend.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think we just need some clarification on how to move forward. As Leslie said, what is the cost? I mean, we don't know.
And and I think, Fred, that's a really good idea, because maybe by then we will have a cost for the banner, because that'll give us a month to figure it out.
That's correct.
Between Curtis is investigating it with his new counterpart at the Welland, and I've contacted Doug Rappeljay to figure out the printers, who the printer is too. So I may be able to get something by going directly to the printer. Okay, but I think the motion is still viable, isn't it? Because it basically
Oh,
asks
yes.
us to investigate with Curtis and with Parks and Rec the feasibility of putting it in and the cost. That's all we're asking for. We're not saying we're absolutely, we want to go in that direction is what we're saying.
That's correct. Yeah.
So is the motion still viable?
Yes.
Okay, then can I have a mover and a seconder? And we'll ask, oh, sorry, Marilyn, are you moving?
No, I'm just going with it.
Okay.
We need to find out a cost. We're not committing to it, are we?
No, we're not committing to it. We're committing
Okay.
to investigating the possibility and the costs.
Okay,
I'm committing to finding out the costs. That's what we're committing to. And we're committing to working this month to find those answers to those questions, and then having Curtis come at our next meeting to determine if any benches are available, if the costs allow us to do this.
okay.
So I have a mover in Maryland. Do I have a seconder? I have a seconder with Leslie. Any more discussion? Okay, can I call the question? All in favor? Okay, great. And okay, anybody opposed? Okay, I don't think so. Okay, great. Okay. Housing forum, I want to defer this until the February and street signs to the 2022 meeting. In the interim, I would like to have a subcommittee meeting between Joanne, Fred, Sebastian, and if anybody else wants to join, they're welcome, to go through all of the past paperwork that we have. We had asked for a number of reports. We haven't gotten them. So I just want to go through all of that we have on this housing thing and get a way forward, having a real full discussion. So maybe the February meeting might be a little bit longer because hopefully we'll have some some way forward on these items, and maybe some of those reports that we asked for, maybe will come to our February meeting. So Joanne, can we convene a meeting with Fred, myself, yourself, and Sebastian between now and the next meeting, and get all that housing paperwork that we have and go through and see where we're with all those motions?
Yep, I can definitely try to schedule a meeting with everybody.
Okay. Is that okay as a way forward? Because I think we need a subcommittee meeting rather than bringing this up. But Fred, go.
Yeah, I agree, because I think there was at least 7, if not more, recommendations on different aspects of housing. And it's even for myself, it's been a while since I looked at it. And I think if the 4 of us get together and just have a half an hour meeting, I think we can set what we want to bring forward at our next regular meeting regarding that. I think it's very important, but it just got waylaid a little bit.
Okay, so that's a way forward on that one. Things are taking longer right now with everything due to nobody's fault. Like, I want to, everybody on this committee should pat themselves on the back. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. Okay, so we're going to leave that. So that's the way forward on that one. The 2022 budget, we have to think about the 22 budget. Joanne, you want to talk about it just for a little bit?
Yep, so I was speaking to Curtis and he advised that all the committees, their budgets were submitted based on last year's number. So I believe with the age-friendly committee for 2021, $3,000 was submitted. So $3,000 has been submitted again for the 2022 budget. And the budget meetings will be at the end of January, I believe. So once council approves whatever amount they approve, that will be your 2022 budget.
Okay.
And then that being said, I don't know if I missed it earlier under the calendar update, but the $500 that you'd like to carry over from the 2021 budget, we would need a motion for that.
I'm not suggesting that we carry $500. I'm suggesting that we carry the $400 that was allocated as part of, if you know how we have 12 and age friendly is one of the 12.
Okay, so you don't want to carry your leftover $500 from the 2021 budget?
Can we do that? 'Cause
Yep.
that would really help a lot.
Yep, you can definitely do that. Yep, I
Okay,
spoke to finance about it and we just need to have a motion go to council.
so that would help, that would really give us a buffer for the calendar, and then I could have it professionally, you know, just really professionally set up, like, you know, it does need a, and it's a, I know most places charge $50 an hour, but Impact Promotions will do it for us for $30 an hour, which would be a really good deal, but a couple hours can add up. So
What you're talking about being carried over, the 500, is that in addition to the 3,000? Would that be
No, that's the
3,500 or that
$500
becomes,
is the leftover money from the 2021 budget that was so from leftover from the $3,000 from the 2021 budget.
So
but
that
then
would-
it becomes part of the 22 $3,000 budget?
Yeah, so if you were to get approved for the $3,000, you'd actually have 3,500 because the
Okay, that's
500
what I'm asking. Yes,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Yep.
asking.
Yeah, so whatever amount gets approved for the 2022 budget, you still have that $500 from 2021
Okay.
approved. Yeah,
we
but if
only-
we don't pass
Carry
the
it over.
motion, then you're gonna lose the $500.
Well, then Dan put it up. Yes, definitely should carry it over.
we only,
Yeah,
we
James,
only,
I move that the balance of $500 from 2021 be moved forward to 2022.
an earmark.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Dan moves it. Do we have a seconder? Marilyn? Okay. I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. That gives us a little bit of cushion both for the calendar project and for the banner project. I don't think the banner is going to cost us very much if that goes through. Okay, so we'll work on, I'll draft up some kind of starting budget for the next meeting, and I'll work with Joanne. Like, for example, I'm wondering if we can lump things up in bigger chunks, and I've talked to Joanne. For example, I'd like to see $200 for senior of the year, $200 for something for Christmas, and maybe $100 for a speaker for the senior center. I wonder if we can lump that into those specific things, but lump that into one $500 budget amount.
It
So
has to be specific.
It has to be specific, okay. Well, I'll come up with some initial ideas. The one thing that I do want to have in the budget, whatever we come up with and finalize, I want names beside, I want one or two names beside who's going to help with work on or run with the project, be the lead on the project. That doesn't mean they'll just do it. So if we're going to have a swim, let's say if we're going to have that parent, that grandparent and kids swim, which was very, very successful. Who would be willing to work on it? So those kinds, I want some names onto the budget items.
If I can just add one more thing. The calendar does need to be budgeted into your 2022 as well. So if there's any expenses other than the $4,800 that we are carrying over already, like if there's anything else that you're going to be spending, that needs to be included in the 2022 budget.
Okay, so now we got the 48 plus we have the 500, right? For the calendar.
If you use the $500 for the calendar, we just have to submit it to council, letting them know that that's what we're using it for.
Okay, all right. So we have that, and if we want anything.
Yeah, so if you want to go, let's say above and beyond the $500, make sure that the calendar is in the 2022 budget
Okay. Okay.
as a
So,
line item.
so we'll think about the budget. I want you to think about what you have last year's budget. When I sent it to you, I can resend it. I forgot to put the rack cards in there. We only really spent about $1,000 last year of our budget. So anyway, okay, so we'll do a further discussion, and maybe you can think about what projects you think we'd like to do next year. I definitely want to have $100 or $120 in for us going to the Pelham thing. I think the Pelham thing hopefully will get off the ground. That would be a nice day for us if they can do it in the spring and get all the age-friendly committees together. So I will come up with some things, and then you think of things that you might like to maybe do or be a part of. And maybe we can finalize it at the February or March meeting at the latest. And I'll work with Joanne to make sure that things look kosher. Does that sound good?
Dan had his hand up, Jeannie.
Oh, I apologize, Dan. Dan?
That's all right. No, I just have a question. I just want to be sure I'm clear on what the financial resources are available to the committee for 222. The way I understand it, there's $4,800 set aside specifically for the calendar, and this money's been raised by the committee through sponsorship. So 4,800 is sitting there specifically to pay for the calendar as those expenses come forward in 222. And there's a $500, I'm going to call it a balance coming forward from the 221 budget. That's an unrestricted fund. It's just a general fund at this point. And then there's 3,000 additional dollars for 222 pending council approval through the budget process.
So
There's
let's
three
say,
amounts, all
Yeah.
distinct, right? Okay.
yeah, so let's say no money is approved for the committee. Let's just say that. You'll
Okay.
still have your $500 and you'll still have the 4,800,
Okay,
the calendars.
great.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, are we good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, so that the budget will come up next meeting. Hopefully we'll get it to you early so you can think about it and maybe think of what projects you might want to be a part of. Okay, round table, we'll do a quick round table. Fred's the first one on my screen, so we'll start with Fred.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jeannie, and thanks for keeping going on this and for everybody coming out and we'll get some things done this year, whatever they might be. the calendar specifically, that will be a great project to get completed for this coming year. And other than that, we're going through budgets. The city's going through budgets, and I have a couple of other groups that are going through budgets right now. And it'll be an interesting year on from a city standpoint. But this committee is doing great work, and we will bring forward something for the next meeting as far as a form is concerned for the 7 or 8 items that we put through directed to different city council and city departments. So I'm looking forward to some great things being done in the 2022 year.
Thank you, Fred. Joey?
I just had gotten an email today from Jeff Birch, and he's excited to let everybody know the Ontario government has announced they're going to invest in Norgen Biotech to ramp up production of the PCR tests. And they also expect it may create up to 105 extra jobs. So that's a great bit of news.
Excellent. Okay, Joey, anything else? Okay, the next one on my screen is Joanne. Joanne, thanks a million for all your help and support. Next on my screen is Marilyn.
I have nothing. I read what Joey just said, and I think that's fantastic. I've been wondering why the heck the province hasn't been dealing with this company all the way along.
Right.
Everything they've done, they've sent out of the country.
Yeah. Well, they're learning the hard way.
Yeah,
Okay, anything else, Marilyn?
no,
Dan?
There's a pretty interesting and significant project that's out there on the horizon for the city of Thorold, for the community of Thorold. You've probably heard about it, but I just want to make sure that this committee would please have some eyes on the project, because our mandate is age-friendly. It's an accessibility issue, right? So anything that's a significant project should have that perspective in there. And I don't mean to talk about that today, but just going forward to be aware of it. You've probably heard that DSBN, on behalf of Thorold Secondary School, has proposed a resurfacing of part of the field at McMillan Park with a turf, what they call these turf surfaces, to improve accessibility for specific user groups in different sports and that type of thing. So it came a few months ago to the city. The city, and as I understand it, the city and the DSBN have been discussing terms of the proposal. There seems, from informally, what I'm hearing is that there's a good support for the concept at this point, but it's got to be ironed out, including possible relocation of some amenities that exist there now. But I've been advised by the city staff and some councillors that they're aware of most of the check boxes, but I think it would be great to have everyone in this committee's eyes on the project to see that they're not missing any of those important community perspectives that you bring.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, Elaine?
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. The Senior Center has been closed since Christmas, but we plan our reopening on January 24th. It was done out of a great amount of caution with the new variant coming on. We didn't want anybody getting sicker or that, so we gave them a chance to get their booster shots. On the other note, the volunteer tax program is back in full force. Myself and my volunteers will be running the clinics probably starting around the end of February. We do them for community care, and we'll be doing them hopefully at the senior center. If not, they will be done remotely as they were last year.
Thank you, Elaine. And did I miss anybody? I can't see anybody on my screen. I think Rihanna has left. Oh, I apologize, Leslie. I apologize. Leslie?
I really don't have anything. I think every group at this point is trying to plan, like we are, how we go into 2022 and the precautions we continue to take. At this point, I'm not interested in doing anything other than Zoom speaker presentations for horticulture because our members are in the most risk right now. So I'm just trying to find interesting things so I can put together programs for each month. And that's taking all my time right now. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Leslie.
Rhiannon is still here as well if she wanted to say something.
Okay, Rihanna, I apologize, Rihanna.
No, that's okay. I don't have anything to add right now anyway. So that's, everybody's doing a good job and we'll just plow forward.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, did I miss anybody else? Okay, I just want to say thank you. I sent you a list of the activities for last year. We really helped Age-Friendly Niagara Council, which is going to be officially it's a council, but it's going to have an official executive in June. So we spent a lot of time on that project, and we spent a lot of time on the virtual booth products that we had for the big conference that was in June at the Scotiabank Center. I'm hoping that we can get some of these things done, but I do want to say kudos to all of you because there have been many committees, age-friendly and seniors committees, that have hardly met at all. And our committee has met vigorously throughout the whole year. And we have the meetings that we missed were intentional, like we missed the November meeting, and I think we missed one summer meeting. So kudos to all of you. I want to thank you. And I'm really hoping that COVID will actually allow us to get some things done and be physically together. Because I think for our mental health, after doing a few things at Christmas, like the Christmas luncheon and like the federal employees luncheon, that just little contact is just so important. So hopefully we can. And again, I want to thank the support we're getting from City Hall through Joanne. And hopefully have a good New Year's and we can do things and meet in person. So that's all. The next meeting will be held February 10th, 2022. It will probably be an hour-and-a-half meeting or maybe even 2 hours from 1 to 1:30 because we're going to do all that housing stuff. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Rihanna, and I'll take somebody different. Leslie. Okay. Anybody opposed? Everybody in favor of adjourning? Okay, everybody. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thanks for
Thanks,
everything.
everybody.